Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see the future? Imagine living in a world where you could predict events years, even centuries before they happen. Well, there was a man who claimed he could do just that, Nostradamus. Famous for his cryptic prophecies, Nostradamus is one of history's most intriguing figures. But who was this man really? Were his predictions accurate, or was it all just a myth? Today, we dive into the mysterious life of the man who saw the future. Michael de Nostradamus, better known as Nostradamus, was born in 1503 in France. A physician by profession, he is best remembered for his quatrains, four-line poems that supposedly foretold the future. Written in a mix of languages like French, Greek, and Latin, these cryptic verses have fascinated scholars and enthusiasts alike. Some believe that Nostradamus predicted events such as the rise of Hitler, the French Revolution, and even 9/11. But can we truly say he had the power to see into the future, or was it mere coincidence? We'll explore that next. Nostradamus didn't claim his visions came from divine inspiration or magic. He believed they came from a combination of astrology, ancient texts, and a deep understanding of human history. He would spend long hours studying planetary alignments and historical trends, using them to make educated guesses about what might happen next. However, because his prophecies were so vague, they could be interpreted in countless ways. This ambiguity made it easier to match his quatrains to actual events after they occurred. One of the most famous examples often linked to Nostradamus is his supposed prediction of the Great Fire of London in 1666. In one of his quatrains, he wrote, "The blood of the just will commit a fault at London, burnt through lightning of 23's the 6." Many believe this foretold the fire that destroyed much of London. But like most of his prophecies, this interpretation is debated. Did Nostradamus truly see this event, or are we forcing the puzzle pieces to fit? Skeptics argue that it's more likely people are reading into his verses after the fact. In recent years, Nostradamus's prophecies have seen a resurgence in popular culture, especially when major events happen. For instance, many claimed he predicted the COVID-19 pandemic, citing his verses about plagues and diseases. Websites and social media pages were flooded with supposed predictions about the pandemic, sparking a new wave of interest in his writings. Yet, when examined closely, these verses are vague and open to wide interpretation. It brings up the age-old question, is it really prophecy if it can be applied to almost anything? Despite the controversies surrounding his predictions, Nostradamus' legacy endures. His work has become a part of the fabric of pop culture, featured in countless books, films, and documentaries. Whether you believe he had mystical powers or was simply a brilliant mind ahead of his time, there's no denying his impact. Nostradamus represents our collective fascination with the unknown, the desire to understand what's coming next. And in that sense, he truly is the man who saw the future. Nostradamus wasn't always a prophet. He started his life as a physician, studying medicine at the University of Montpellier in France. During this time, he gained respect for his work in treating plague victims. His early life was marked by both success and tragedy, as he lost his first wife and children to the plague. This personal loss deeply affected him and may have shaped his later writings. Nostradamus's early experiences gave him a profound understanding of life and death, which would become a central theme in his prophecies. Nostradamus's shift from medicine to astrology was gradual. After his time as a physician, he became increasingly interested in astrology and occult sciences, believing that the stars and planets held the key to understanding future events. By the 1550s, Nostradamus began publishing almanacs filled with predictions, which gained him a following. People began to seek his advice on matters of love, health, and even politics. His fame grew, and he soon transitioned from writing almanacs to publishing Les Prophéties, a collection of his now famous quatrains. Nostradamus's rise to fame attracted the attention of powerful figures, including Queen Catherine de' Medici of France. She became one of his most important patrons, inviting him to the royal court to create horoscopes for her children. His relationship with the French royal family solidified his status as a respected figure in France, but it also made him vulnerable to criticism and jealousy. His predictions for the royal family, particularly the death of King Henry I, would later become one of his most discussed prophecies. One of Nostradamus' most famous predictions is often believed to have foretold the death of King Henry II of France. In a quatrain, he described a young lion who would defeat an older lion in combat, with the elder dying a painful death. In 1559, Henry II died from injuries sustained during a jousting tournament, and many linked the prophecy to his death. While skeptics argue that the quatrain is vague and could be applied to many situations, it fueled the belief that Nostradamus had accurately predicted a royal tragedy. While Nostradamus had many admirers, he also had his share of skeptics. Throughout his life, scholars and intellectuals criticized his work for being too vague and ambiguous. Many argued that his prophecies were written in such a way that they could be interpreted to fit almost any event. Despite these criticisms, Nostradamus remained a popular figure. His supporters believed that his cryptic writing style was necessary to avoid persecution by religious authorities, who might have condemned his work as heretical. Nostradamus' work often walked a fine line between science, mysticism, and religion. While he was a Catholic, he also drew on ancient pagan texts and astrological writings for his predictions. This eclectic blend of influences made his work appealing to a wide audience, but also controversial. Religious authorities in his time were wary of anyone who claimed to foresee the future, as such claims could be seen as a challenge to divine authority. However, Nostradamus' careful wording and avoidance of overt religious statements helped him avoid major conflict with the church. The Black Plague played a major role in shaping Nostradamus' worldview. As a physician, he treated countless victims of the plague, and the mass death he witnessed undoubtedly influenced his writings. Many of his quatrains are filled with imagery of death, disease, and disaster, reflecting the turbulent times he lived in. The plague, combined with his personal losses, may have led Nostradamus to focus so heavily on apocalyptic themes in his prophecies. His predictions often highlight human suffering on a grand scale. Nostradamus wrote his prophecies in quatrains, 4-line verses that are often difficult to interpret. But why did he choose this method? Some believe that the quatrains allowed Nostradamus to hide his true meaning from those who might persecute him. Others think the format made his prophecies more poetic and timeless, giving them a mystical quality that has helped them endure over the centuries. Regardless of the reason, the quatrains have become synonymous with Nostradamus and are a key part of his enduring legacy. It's believed that not all of Nostradamus' quatrains have been found. Some historians speculate that there are lost prophecies that have yet to be discovered or have been hidden deliberately. This idea has added another layer of mystery to his work, as enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists alike search for these missing verses. The concept of lost quatrains plays into the larger mythology surrounding Nostradamus, elevating his status from mere prophet to a figure shrouded in intrigue. Many of Nostradamus' prophecies are believed to predict natural disasters. For instance, some interpret his writings as foretelling the devastating 1906 San Francisco earthquake or the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan. His quatrains often mention earthquakes, floods, and fires, which has led many to link them to real-life catastrophes. However, skeptics argue that natural disasters are common enough that vague predictions about them are bound to come true at some point. Still, for believers, these predictions only add to his credibility. Another area where Nostradamus' quatrains are frequently cited is in relation to the two world wars. Some believe that his prophecies predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler, with references to Hister, a word that appears in one of his quatrains. Others claim that he foresaw the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. While these interpretations are widely debated, they have become part of the mythology surrounding Nostradamus. His name often resurfaces during times of global conflict, as people search for meaning in his cryptic verses. Over the years, many have attempted to use Nostradamus' prophecies to predict political events. Some believe he foresaw the assassination of John F. Kennedy, while others claim he predicted the rise of Donald Trump. These interpretations often rely on broad readings of his quatrains, which can be adapted to fit many scenarios. Critics argue that Nostradamus' work is so open-ended that it's easy to retroactively apply his predictions to current events. Nonetheless, his writings continue to be cited by those searching for insight into the future. One of the most popular topics linked to Nostradamus is the end of the world. Throughout history, many have claimed that he predicted apocalyptic events that would bring about the end of civilization. For example, some believe he foretold the 2012 Mayan apocalypse that never came to pass. Others think his quatrains point to future cataclysms that have yet to happen. While the idea of an impending apocalypse is a recurring theme in his work, it remains one of the most debated aspects of his prophecies. In today's digital age, Nostradamus has become a central figure in many conspiracy theories. From predictions about alien invasions to global pandemics, his name is often invoked in online forums and social media discussions. Some conspiracy theorists believe that Nostradamus had access to secret knowledge about future events that he encoded in his quatrains. Others argue that his work is being misinterpreted and taken out of context. Either way, the resurgence of interest in Nostradamus in modern times highlights our ongoing fascination with the unknown. Despite his enduring popularity, many of Nostradamus' predictions have been debunked by historians and scholars. Experts point out that his quatrains are so vague that they can be interpreted in countless ways, making them unreliable as predictions. Additionally, some so-called prophecies attributed to Nostradamus were never written by him, but rather by later authors looking to capitalize on his fame. By examining his work critically, we can begin to separate the myth from the man and better understand why his prophecies continue to captivate us. Nostradamus' influence extends beyond prophecy. He has inspired countless writers and artists throughout the centuries. His quatrains have been referenced in various literary works, from Shakespearean plays to contemporary novels. Artists have depicted his life and prophecies in paintings, sculptures, and films. This artistic fascination reflects society's broader obsession with the idea of predicting the future. By exploring these artistic interpretations, we can gain insight into how different cultures have understood and reinterpreted Nostradamus' work over time. The allure of Nostradamus has also made its way into cinema. Films and documentaries have been made about his life and predictions, often dramatizing his supposed foresight into historical events. Some movies portray him as a mystical figure, while others take a more skeptical approach. Regardless of the angle, these cinematic portrayals contribute to the mythos surrounding Nostradamus, shaping how audiences perceive his legacy. The blending of fact and fiction in these films keeps his story alive in popular culture, inviting new generations to explore his writings. In the 21st century, modern interpretations of Nostradamus have become increasingly common, especially with the rise of the internet and social media. Many enthusiasts create YouTube videos and blog posts analyzing his quatrains, linking them to current events and emerging global issues. These interpretations often blend historical context with speculative analysis, creating a dynamic conversation around his work. While some interpretations remain grounded in scholarly research, others veer into the realm of conspiracy theories, further complicating the narrative. The cycle of linking Nostradamus to global events has become a self-perpetuating phenomenon. Major disasters, political upheavals, and technological advancements often spur a resurgence of interest in his prophecies. Social media platforms are flooded with posts claiming Nostradamus predicted the event, which often leads to debates between skeptics and believers. This cyclical nature of prophecy and interpretation demonstrates how humanity seeks to find meaning and reassurance in turbulent times, often turning to Nostradamus as a source of guidance. The fascination with Nostradamus can also be examined through the lens of psychology. Psychologists study the human tendency to seek patterns and predict outcomes. a phenomenon known as apophenia. Nostradamus's vague and ambiguous prophecies cater to this psychological need, allowing individuals to find meaning and make connections, even when there may be none. This underscores how people often look to historical figures for comfort and understanding, especially in times of uncertainty. In our current information age, Nostradamus's prophecies have been reshaped to fit the digital landscape. Misinformation spreads rapidly online, often including his name and works. This creates a complex relationship between history and modern media, where ancient texts can be manipulated to fit contemporary narratives. As such, understanding the original context of Nostradamus's writings becomes essential for discerning fact from fiction in today's world. The quest for accurate prophecy remains an enduring pursuit, with many individuals turning to various forms of divination and astrology. Nostradamus serves as a touchstone in this search, often cited as one of the most famous seers in history. This quest reflects humanity's desire to gain insight into the future, prompting questions about fate, free will, and the nature of time itself. The discussions surrounding Nostradamus highlight our ongoing struggle to reconcile uncertainty with the desire for knowledge. For many cultures, Nostradamus has become a symbol of prophecy and foretelling. Different regions interpret his quatrains through their unique cultural lenses, adding layers of meaning to his work. In some cultures, he is viewed as a sage, while in others, he is seen as a charlatan. This varying perception illustrates how cultural context can significantly influence the interpretation of historical figures and texts, showcasing the rich tapestry of human belief systems. In today's fast-paced world, the relevance of Nostradamus persists. As society grapples with issues such as climate change, political instability, and health crises, his prophecies are often resurrected as a means to explain or predict these challenges. This modern relevance speaks to the timelessness of his themes: struggle, hope, and the quest for understanding. Nostradamus continues to resonate because he encapsulates the universal human experience of facing the unknown. As we reflect on the life and work of Nostradamus, it becomes clear that he is more than just a prophet. He is a cultural phenomenon. His ability to evoke intrigue, debate, and fascination over the centuries reveals much about human nature. Whether viewed as a visionary or a clever wordsmith, Nostradamus has secured a unique place in our collective consciousness. The legacy he leaves behind challenges us to explore the mysteries of time, destiny, and the human experience. Nostradamus's writings raise intriguing questions about the nature of time itself. His quatrains suggest a linear yet cyclical view of time, where events may repeat or echo through history. This idea resonates with many philosophical theories about time, suggesting that the past, present, and future are interconnected. By analyzing Nostradamus's predictions, we can explore how different cultures understand the passage of time and the human experience within that framework. The allure of Nostradamus is often intertwined with fear of the unknown, fear of disaster, and fear of the future. Many individuals seek out his prophecies during times of crisis, hoping for answers or reassurance. This psychological component highlights how prophecy can serve as a coping mechanism for individuals grappling with uncertainty. By examining the interplay between fear and prophecy, we can better understand why figures like Nostradamus continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Nostradamus's predictions often reflect the societal anxieties of his time. For instance, his quatrains about plagues and disasters mirror the fears prevalent in 16th century France. In this way, Nostradamus serves as a historical lens, allowing us to examine the hopes and fears of societies long past. By understanding the context of his writings, we gain insight into the cultural and historical landscape of his time, making his work more relatable and significant. The ongoing debate between believers and skeptics of Nostradamus's prophecies exemplifies a broader dichotomy in society. This tension reflects humanity's desire for certainty versus the skepticism inherent in the scientific method. By exploring this dichotomy, we can examine the varying ways individuals approach knowledge and belief. Whether one sees Nostradamus as a genuine prophet or a clever storyteller, this discourse is essential for understanding the complexities of human thought. Different religious groups interpret Nostradamus' prophecies in various ways, often aligning them with their belief systems. Some view his writings as foretelling biblical events or the second coming of Christ, while others dismiss them as irrelevant to their faith. This multifaceted relationship between Nostradamus and religion illustrates how prophecy can be co-opted to fit existing narratives, showing how spirituality and belief intersect with historical figures. The art of interpreting Nostradamus' quatrains is a skill that has developed over centuries. Scholars, historians, and enthusiasts have crafted various methodologies to decipher his cryptic messages. This interpretative practice raises questions about the nature of understanding and meaning. By engaging with his work, individuals exercise critical thinking and analytical skills, contributing to a broader dialogue about how we derive meaning from texts and events. The scientific community generally approaches Nostradamus with skepticism, often dismissing his prophecies as pseudoscience. However, the ongoing fascination with his work has prompted some scientists and scholars to explore the intersections between science and prophecy. This dialogue highlights the importance of interdisciplinary study, allowing for a richer understanding of how different fields can inform one another. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.